I have for a while had some serious issues with brightline eating. We're going to get into it, and we're also going to hear from a blogger friend of mine who had some issues herself, who did the program, and we have some complaints about it. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. I'm Angela. If you are new to my channel, I made a name for myself over the past year for doing brightline eating. I upload every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with weight loss videos, a lot of binge eating disorder content, a lot of mindset content, tips and tricks, recipes that I've done. Right now I'm on WW Weight Watchers. A lot of my subscribers here on YouTube are here for brightline eating content, and I actually have a few videos that I might post in the future about what I shopped for, like my grocery hauls. I filmed those in the summer of last year, never uploaded them. So I know those of you who are new to brightline eating are looking for that type of content. But today's video I think is overdue because I have had some complaints about brightline eating for a while. And there are two big ones for me, but I also want to share the thoughts of a friend of mine who did brightline eating with me. In fact, she was in my mastermind group. I had two different mastermind groups, one at the beginning of friends who were really into the program, who I actually didn't know in real life, but I knew online. We had a Marco Polo group. And then I had a second mastermind group after I finished that first mastermind group. This second mastermind group was three friends who live locally where I live in Florida, and I actually knew them in real life. This friend, Kelly, is known on YouTube. She has like almost 50,000 subscribers. She has freedom in a budget. She's really good about the budget and financial content. So if you're looking for that, go subscribe to her. She's amazing. Love her. She's about to have a baby. She did brightline eating before she was pregnant, but I asked her if she would send me a video sharing her concerns about it and why she didn't necessarily love it and some complaints that she had. So she's going to share her thoughts briefly. But what I wanted to talk about is the two big complaints that I have about brightline eating. The first is the big one for me is that if you are what they call a 10 out of 10 on the susceptibility scale, I have linked in the description box below the food susceptibility quiz, and I am a 10 out of 10. If you are a 10 out of 10, you may struggle with binge eating disorder. And I am very transparent here on my channel about the struggles I've had with brightline eating, about how I would do the program and I would be perfect on it. The first 3 months I did brightline eating, I was what they call a crystal vaser, meaning like I started the program and I was perfect for 3 months. Like I literally followed it to a T. I lost 21 pounds. The problem that I have, like the biggest problem that I have with brightline eating is that it can really make your binges worse. I never in my life have had such severe binges as I did when I was doing brightline eating. Like when I would fall off the wagon and I would go binge, it was severe. Like it was like scary binge. Since I started brightline eating and started vlogging about it and talking about it on Instagram and, you know, whatever, I've had so many people, I'm talking like dozens and dozens of people reach out to me and say the exact same thing happened to them, that brightline eating made their binges so much worse. And so I want you to be mindful that if you do the program, if you do fall off the wagon, you can binge worse than you ever have in your life. And it can be a sustained problem. Like my binges used to be like, you know, I'd do it for like maybe a week or two, but with brightline eating, I would binge for like 6 weeks and they would be such bad binges and I would rapidly regain all of the weight that I lost plus some. And I think that can happen because of the second issue that I have with brightline eating, which is it is too low calorie. I'm not a registered dietitian. Brightline eating makes it very obvious. The founder, Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson, always talks about she's not a dietitian. She doesn't, you know, study nutrition, yada, yada, yada. She's a brain scientist. What I think, though, is that they're basing their model on Overeaters Anonymous, and she's also transparent about that. It's a food plan that comes from Overeaters Anonymous or Food Addicts Anonymous. I don't remember which one, but like she got that plan from a previous plan. But what I want to say is that plan, this is my opinion, that plan was created decades ago, and times have changed. We've learned a lot about nutrition since then, and I think you need more protein than that program has laid out for you. And I think what happens is it puts you in starvation mode, especially if you choose the leaner proteins. Like if you're choosing, this is such a big issue I have with brightline eating, if you're choosing as your proteins almond milk, that has 1 gram of protein for a cup of almond milk, and you can choose an almond milk that's 40 calories. Like if you choose the Blue Diamond, you know, 40 calorie unsweetened almond milk, that is not enough protein. That's 1 gram of protein and 40 calories. And then let's say you choose that for all of your proteins for the day, for all 3 protein servings, 120 calories for all 3 of your protein calories? No. Now, you can do the opposite and have proteins that are very filling. Like if you choose an animal protein, like you choose 4 ounces of steak, 3 servings of 4 ounces of steak is going to get you, you know, in a great place and you're going to be fine, you're going to be satisfied. But for vegans or vegetarians or people who are just like, I just like this as my protein option, that is, to me, not so good. Now, I think they need to work with a registered dietitian. They need to get somebody on staff who is, up to date on all of the research. And also they need to do case studies of people. Maybe they need to, this is just my opinion, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a dietitian, but maybe they need to do some case studies and experiment with brightline eating people who do, like, if you're a vegan, maybe you're choosing for your proteins like tofu, or edamame, or I don't know, I don't have the answer, or maybe they come out with a brightline eating protein powder that's non-triggering, because I feel like Dr. Susan has talked about, like, she used to do this protein powder that was like, plant-based, and I don't even remember exactly the specifics, but maybe they come out with their own product that's like, if you're vegan, at least 1 or 2 servings of your protein a day should be this, because then you get sufficient protein and enough calories. Brightline eating doesn't track protein, they don't track calories, but I think they should. I think that stuff's important. I think that's why so many people like me were triggered to go binge, is that they weren't doing enough of the protein options that are satiating and satisfying and fulfilling and, getting you your macronutrients that you need. And so I think that needs to be examined. And I think that one recommendation I can make is that if you are interested in doing brightline eating, in particular, if you choose to exercise along with it, although they don't recommend exercise, if you choose to exercise, you really need more. I think they need to have people start with either the maintenance plan, or they need to have people start with brightline eating plus 1 additional protein. Like, I think breakfast needs to be 1.5 proteins. Add that little extra half protein in the morning, and then at night it needs to be an extra fat. That's my opinion. Not a personal trainer, not a nutritionist, whatever. So I think that this is my anecdotal evidence. I feel like observing people on Brightline Eating's Facebook page, and also the number of people who reached out to me, at this point, it's hundreds of people have reached out to me. So my evidence is not scientific. It is literally anecdotal of people who've reached out to me. People have made comments on my YouTube videos. People have emailed me. People have messaged me on Instagram. So many people had the exact same problem that I had, which is they did brightline eating. It's great. And then you get triggered and you binge, and your binges are worse than ever. I think, and this is, again, non-scientific, I feel like fewer than 25 people who start brightline eating are successful. Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson's probably going to come at me and try to sue me and say that that's not scientific. So that is why I'm putting in the caveat of saying this is completely non-evidence-based. It's literally just my perception based on the feedback that I'm getting. So many people who reach out to me have said that they have struggles and it made them worse. So I think that there are, 15 to 20% of people who do brightline eating that are successful. Maybe the number's lower or higher. I have no proof of that. I have no idea. But my perception is 10 to 20% of people are successful. But for the other 80% of us, we are not successful, and it makes us worse. So the whole time I've been promoting brightline eating, I'm like, you need to be careful with it. You need to go into it with, the mindset of, I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to be all in. I'm going to, get the materials. Maybe you're going to join the Brightline Eating Bootcamp. I don't know what you're going to do. They have the new program now. They have the new structure and membership model. I don't even know. I'm not a member. Didn't do it. I did buy the bootcamp. I do recommend it, if you're going to do the membership model and you want to be all in it to win it, go ahead and do that. I downloaded the Resume book. I haven't read it, and I definitely plan to. I'm hearing that it's great information, even if you're not doing brightline eating. And I do love the principles that I've learned doing brightline eating. Like, there are so many benefits I've learned. Like, I learned to really love vegetables and not be scared of them. I learned the value of pre-planning your food the day before. I kind of knew that, but brightline eating really solidified it. So I got a lot of things that I benefited from brightline eating. I got so many benefits from brightline eating, but at the end of the day, like, I don't regret it, but I feel like, I don't want to say it did me a disservice, but I feel like it was not the program that I thought it would be for me. And for those of you who it is, I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm genuinely happy for you. And I still promote brightline eating because I do think that for that 10 to 20% of the population, it is a life-saving, amazing life-enhancing program. And like, for those of you who are crystal vasers and have done it and have lost all the weight and kept it off, and like, you're happy, thin, and free, like the tagline, you go ahead and you go with your bad self. I love that for you. I genuinely do. And I'm so happy that brightline eating has reached a percentage of the population that it's changing lives and making them better and healthier and happier. But like, for the rest of us who continue to struggle, like, I don't know how I feel. Like, I need to examine and step back and continue to distance myself and think about, like, overall, what is the benefit? Is it outweighing the drawbacks of, severe triggered binges for people like me who are susceptible? I don't know. So anyway, at this point, let's hear from my girl, Kelly. Let's hear what she has to say. So let's hear it.
I'm Kelly Ann Smith with freedomindabudget.com, and one of the things that I didn't like about brightline eating and why I stopped doing brightline eating is the fact that Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson was so big on the addictable personality, and if you have one bite, then everything is going to fall off, you're going to binge, it's going to be the end of the world, rather than teaching you self-control, rather than teaching you, okay, let's train our brain, let's work on this, let's fix this, and learn how to live in moderation. It was a very all or nothing lifestyle, and I really didn't like that. And I relate it back to finances. I used to live paycheck to paycheck. I used to live in a world of just chaos, and that's the same thing as binge eating. And then I learned how to manage my money. And I learned that I could be in control of my money and say, okay, rather than not going to Target, cutting out Target cold turkey, just like Brightline Eating teaches with food and carbs and different things like that, I now can go into Target and say, okay, here's my budget. Here's what I have to spend. Here's my list, and I'm going to stick to it. And doing it in moderation and saying, okay, once I'm done with Target, I'm not going to go into Ulta and Marshalls and TJ Maxx and all these other stores. I'm going to stop right there. That's the same thing with binge eating. Rather than having the one cupcake or the one bowl of pasta and saying, okay, I had it, it was delicious, I'm staying within my constraints, and learning how to train your brain. I really don't like the fact that she's so cut and dry. And as adults, we need to learn how to train our brain in every aspect of our life and to learn how to say, you know what? We can live in moderation, and this is the path, this is the steps that we have to take. We may fail, we may fall off, but we need to learn how to get ourselves back up and get back to focus on whatever goal that we're working on and not just have that cold turkey all or nothing. Honestly, I don't think it's sustainable long term, and everyone that I've seen that has gone off has totally gone off the bandwagon, and it's just not good for anything.
So those are Kelly's thoughts, and those are, thoughts from two people who've done the program and really gave it a, good old college try. And, again, I have the love-hate relationship with Brightline Eating. I don't want to say I hate it because that's really too strong, and I wish them the best. I genuinely do. Like, if I did not wish Brightline Eating well, I would go delete all of my YouTube content. Like, I would have already deleted all the Brightline videos I did, but I don't delete those. And I've never been paid by Brightline Eating. I do it, because I believe in the program, especially to a certain extent about learning to love vegetables and all the other brain-based principles that it teaches you, especially about food addiction, all those things. Again, you might have more content from me about Brightline Eating, like my grocery hauls that I did, a year ago. So anyway, those are my thoughts. If you have any comments about it, which I'm sure you do, because I'm sure this is going to be a very controversial video, drop them down below. Let's talk about it. I love you for being here. I wish you the best on your health journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.